Cory Loykasek. Welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, we have George Christie, who is the owner of Wine Industry Network, which is our very important wine industry resource.
Extremely important.
Thank you for being here.
Everyone needs to subscribe.
And normally he's an industry analyst, but today he's a sort of comedy analyst, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So
Great.
Cory, so we have had...
No pressure.
That's right. We've had many children of winery families on the show. We've had Robbie Young, and we had Jason Deloche. And so we've had some legacies in the wine industry, but this is the first time we have had the son of a very, very prominent, well-respected winemaker. And his name was Mike Loykasek, warmly known as Dark Horse Mike, one of my best friends. And Cory was, the title is Something Happened on My Way to UC Davis.
Yeah, I like that.
And theoretically, you probably should have been a winemaker, because not only was your dad a very well-respected winemaker, but your grandfather was instrumental in the UC Davis program.
Yeah. I think co-founded or was one of the early guys who started the wine program there.
Well, let's start by what you do now, just because it's so fascinating.
Okay. Is it fascinating?
Yes, it's fascinating.
I started off doing stand-up comedy and then making short films and sketches and stuff, and then moved to LA and we filmed a TV show based on a web series we'd done for TBS a couple years ago, and that's out now somewhere. And the paparazzi follows me everywhere I go. TV show's out on, you can watch it on demand, and other than that, just been making short films ever since.
Okay, so Cory grew up in a winemaking family, and your dad, your dad must have been making wine as long as you can remember, correct? Because he graduated from UC Davis.
Yeah.
And I think his first job was in Central Valley.
Yeah, we lived in Paso Robles till I was like 6. He worked at Archiera Winery, and then he moved here to work at Meeker, and then Armida, and then for himself under Dark Horse.
Yeah, so he's a Sonoma County.
De La Montagna, yeah, before that, yeah. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here. That's my job.
The real son of my father. yeah. But it's funny because you'd think I would have really grown up around wine a lot, but I really remember like the vineyards and the smells and the experience of being at a vineyard. But my dad was like not a teacher at all, so I'd be like, hey, what am I supposed to smell in this or taste in this? And he'd be like, if you like it, you like it. That's it. I'd be like, nothing you got, no. It's just, it's good or it's bad. What do you think,
Didn't he do that weren't you trying to learn how to build things and he did the same thing?
Oh yeah, my mom was like, he was out building a shed in the backyard and she's like, why don't you go out there and ask your father if you can help, see if you can pitch in. And I go there, I stand underneath the shed and I'm like, hey Dad, how are you gonna connect the roof or whatever, ask the question. Just, well, you'll see. I go, all right. Stood there, asked a couple more questions. You'll see. All right. Got bored, walked inside. Never helped again.
Well, George and I both knew him, and he was just larger than life. He's so missed, and he was one of a kind.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we have some photographs of him today, so we can see him. Oh.
Yep.
So that is Mike on the left.
With his real son.
With his real son. That's funny.
It looks like.
That's not Cory, by the way. That's Mike not with Cory.
Yeah, that's with his second family.
I know. And Cory, you're not in that one either.
No.
Huh.
We were close, believe it or not.
Gosh, you're not in that one.
No.
I made it, though.
You made it. There's tall Frankie.
And there we go.
Me.
And the biggest winemaking thing he was known for was Zinfandel. He was sort of the king of Zin, and I remember the Wine Spectator did a huge spread on him, which is a big deal. And I apologize, I should have found that and had a photo of
you
that
really should
because
have. Yeah, thank you. For apologizing for that.
That would have been a good one.
But he was by far my Zen mentor.
Yeah.
Not my Zen mentor, but my Zen mentor, and he just had a way with it. And he was he was a very intuitive winemaker. He would just decide how to do things. He didn't.
I mean, I obviously from winemaking standpoint, you can speak better to that than I can. And I mean, the wines were great, but I was always super impressed with his marketing mind. You know, he was super creative and back from Meeker when he touched every bottle
he started the handprint
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
the poison bottle at Armida.
The poison at Armida, and then the event themes at Armida. All the creative stuff that he came up with was just outstanding. Dark Horse was outstanding. I remember running into him at the bank one day, and he said, "Come here." You know, he's always very excited, right? "Oh, come here, I want to show you something." He had this map, and it was like all this cool shit, and he was just super creative,
Yeah, really passionate.
Very passionate.
And I stored all his wine in the back of his truck.
Well, he used to sell it out of the back of his truck.
Yeah.
He'd be walking down the street. "Hey, I'm a winemaker. You want to try my wine?" Or people go,
Doesn't
"No,
the
can I
heat
buy?"
affect the wine?
Nah, it's fine.
That's fine.
And he literally would just take a 20 and hand people a bottle of wine.
I would drive through, and my buddies would be like, "Let's get some wine." I'd be like, "Hold on, let me stop on my dad's truck." Just reach in the back, pull one out, and go get some dinner.
Well, he was a wonderful, wonderful man, and I think you got a lot of his passion and creativity.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely the passionate part. That's what I remember about all those ventures the most, is just him being so excited about something, coming home and, I can't wait for this, and you got to check this out. And the wine itself, I mean, I didn't really drink that much wine at the time. And wine's a weird art form where it's not like a painting where it lasts forever. It's like, we have a few bottles of his stuff, but other than that, I don't totally get to experience it. But
isn't that an interesting concept? Cory said that to me once. Wine is a limited product, and it's such an interesting point.
Yeah, well,
that once the bottle's gone, the art is.
Yeah, I was at dinner with the Sprages once. You had Ed on here, and I was asking him about that. Like, do you ever make a bottle that you just love? You're like, that's the best shit I've ever made. And then though you only have X amount of bottles, and then it's gone. And I forget what he said, but he had some way of looking at it that was more like, that's why you just live in the moment, enjoy it, and it's kind of a cool approach. It's the exact opposite of what I do, where everything is, for the rest of time, trying to film it and record it and have it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So, Cory, let's toast your dad real quick. It just seems
cheers.
appropriate. Here's to
Yep,
Mike.
cheers. I'll drink to that. Cheers, dude.
Pour it out.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we are drinking the Old Vine Zin, which Mike would approve of. It was very hard for me to blend Zin without him for a long time. I
remember when you did your first without him, you were very
codependent. I mean, I just would be super insecure about it.
With the Ouija board trying to channel it.
You laugh, believe me. He and I did some crazy things together like that. Anyway, so you've done the whole gamut, because you've written, you've acted, you've directed, you've done the lighting,
I've done well, similar to this setup here. I mean, when we did
to this professional high-tech setup.
Yeah, this is great. When I moved to LA, I moved with Rob Borman, who's from here also. And the two of us, we met this guy Donnie and Frankie. We were all roommates, so we started filming little videos around the house just like this, and we made enough of them, crafted this little world out of them just in our house. And then when we pitched that as a TV show, and we sold that. I mean, that's like the biggest dream come true you could have, where you're like, just me and my best friends filming something that's based on our friendship in my house.
And that's the Dress Up?
That's the Dress Up Gang show. So the name of our group is the Dress Up Gang, and then the name of the show is the same.
And so was that your idea? Or you collaborated together?
Yeah, I mean, the show, I mean, the premise was, we just did a sketch once where it was like, I forget the concept, but it was something like, what if I get Donnie in trouble for wearing a cowboy hat or something? And I had to act like his dad, Leave It to Beaver style. Which is kind of a weird little 4-minute sketch, but the world was fun, and there was something about it that felt good and worth revisiting, so we filmed another one with the same characters, and I'm, for some reason, act like his dad and sleep on his couch. I'm like a loser who crashes on his couch, but I act like I'm in charge. And it's just kind of a weird premise. I don't know if we'd be able to even think about it like in a coffee shop trying to write it out. It's more like by doing it, we kind of found something that worked, and I'm kind of a hands-on. It's hard for me to do stuff just in my head. I like to but by filming it, doing it, whether it's stand-up or these videos, just kind of doing it that way. But yeah, we did that show. That was 2 years I think it took to make it. Dream come true. Andy McDowell's in the show. Dream come true.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Groundhog Day, I was like, I love this one.
Yeah.
And when we got to cast somebody, they're like, what if our neighbor was Andy McDowell? And they're like, yeah, we could ask her. Turns out she lives around the corner from me. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. Sounds fun. So we're like, all
How
right.
did you get in touch with her to ask her?
Hollywood. I don't know.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
the fingers of Hollywood.
Yeah, some producer talked to somebody.
And the Dress Up Gang also came back.
Yeah, well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, it was originally, I mean, it's on now.
Oh yeah,
as well as
so
what
the Dream Come True was getting to make it. The terrible Hollywood side of it was that once we did, they were like, hey, can you get it out by Christmas and make some promos for it? We're like, okay, great. So we get to work, and then we get a call, yeah, you know what, they're actually just gonna not release the show. So that's over. And I was like, all right, we hung up from our agents, and it was quietly over. And I guess they had seen the show as existing on some late night marketing plan they had, and they bailed on the plan. So there's a bunch of shows that they made that they didn't air. So for 2 years, ours just sat there until we put it into Sundance without asking them, got it in, and then we leaked the show online and had people, we got magazines to write about it before they found out and had us take it down. And then when COVID started, we put out this video called Cute House that kind of went viral, got a couple million views, and somehow they saw that and then remembered that they owned our show. And with COVID, they didn't have anything to put out.
So you've been on a Hollywood roller coaster.
It's like I had my kid was kidnapped, and I've been on a 2-year hunt to get the kid back.
Do you see how simple the wine industry is compared to that?
Well, yeah, and then when I want to get like feeling bad about my story, everyone you tell in LA is like, yep, well, welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like a classic Hollywood
Kind of
story.
like pay your dues, sort of a.
Pay your dues,
yeah.
and it just takes so long to make anything, and by the time you do, the scene and the landscape might have changed. So, we thought that quirky comedies were going to be the thing, but 2 years later, when it's finally done, now we think it's something else. And
You know, that's not unlike wine.
I'm sure
We
right.
try to predict what varietal is going to be hot in 2 years, and
Yep.
you know, Calatal, something happened, right? Or the big Syrah push. So
Yeah.
it's sort of similar in that way. We have some footage of, we have the Dress Up Gang cast, your original.
Here?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Surprise!
I think you have a video of the cast. Yeah,
Okay, here now.
that's the poster we made for the show, and that's all I got to say about that. For Sundance, we had to come up with some material.
Oh,
Andy McDowell.
She is beautiful.
and how do people watch it now, Cory?
Anywhere if you have on demand, you can type it in, Dress Up Gang, and it should come up. Or just email me and I'll send you the links.
It's such a talented group of people.
It really is. Everybody's really good and kind of has their own honed stand-up voice before the show, so we were able to kind of tap into that.
Oh, look at you all at
We
Sundance.
hungover as hell.
Hungover?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Sundance.
I was hungover when I was at Sundance.
Yeah. How would you not be?
Oh. Now, all of you, while you did this, you all were doing your own stand-up comedy things as well.
Yeah, all doing stand-up as well. I mean, I love doing stand-up. I just don't talk about it as much because I don't invest the same energy I do as the other stuff. But I love to do it.
The stand-up?
Yeah.
You're good at it.
Thanks.
Do you remember the Small Town Comedy Festival, George?
Yeah.
You know, Cory put that together.
Oh, did you, man? I think stand-up comedians, to me, that's terrifying, you know, to go up there and be on stage, and sometimes you kill it, and sometimes you get killed by it, right? So
you have to develop kind of a weird, thick skin. I mean, I'm sure it's not unlike a lot of other jobs, but I used to work with surgeons, and you watch them, and you're like, how the hell do you do that?
Right.
You come in a little tired or something, and there goes the whole thing.
Well, Cory didn't just work with surgeons. He actually was responsible for transplant tissue.
Yeah, I was a guy with the cooler. I worked on a transplant team as a guy with the cooler moving organs around.
Oh, no.
So he would actually deliver the heart.
How do you get that job? Yeah, I had a friend who was in med school, then decided to be a nurse, and he got this job, and he was like, dude, they're hiring you, you should apply. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know anything about medicine. And he goes, you don't have to, they'll just tell you what to do. Yeah. So I applied, and sure enough, it's like I'm injecting bags, I'm hanging perfusion lines. I don't know what this is or what it does in there, but you do it. We used to joke like if we were to trip and ruin an organ, somebody'd be like, "Oh, okay," but that was the doctor dropped it. No, the surgical coordinator. Yeah. Okay, and he's trained. He's a film major, UCHB. Yeah. Oh, okay. What the hell is he doing in the operating room?
That would be your biggest fear, tripping with your organ.
Yeah, actually, there's a clip going around. Somebody did do that recently on TV. The helicopter landed at the hospital and tipped, and everybody was fine. But when they got out, the guy was running with the organ, just tripped, and it flew.
Oh my! Can you imagine?
I saw a surgeon drop lungs once.
Well, on the floor. Is it like a chef rule? Yeah. Is it the 3-minute rule? Or
they
3-second rule?
Yeah, so you cover it back in saline. Yeah, count 3 seconds.
Put it in the body, no problem.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't say the things I've seen because I want people to still donate their organs. It's a good cause, do it.
That's funny. I remember when you were doing that.
Yeah.
Well, and so
my mom, when I told my mom I got the job, she was like, "No."
Because she was worried for was worried for the people who are receiving the organs, right?
Yeah, my car is a notable shithole. I've never been. It's like cartoonishly messy. It's a little better today, but the idea that I have the organs in my car, my mom was just like, "No, wait, no, there's no."
She wanted you to clean your car to make sure there was.
She probably called the company like, "Don't hire him, don't."
Out of respect for the
for the dead
recipients.
Yeah.
Disguising her voice, right? She's like,
yeah,
it's a bad idea.
This is Dr.
It's Dr. Singleton.
Mm.
Speaking of Singleton.
Oh, doing the videos?
Yeah.
I believe he's going to queue up 3 clips from videos that we've done over the past couple of years.
We'll start with one video.
Ding Dong Ditch.
Ding Dong Ditch.
It's an episode
Ding Dong
from our
Ditch
show.
it is.
You say you enjoy Jamba Juice. Enough to preload a gift card? We found that. That's where we suspect the ditch was hiding. Does it ring a bell?
I don't think I like what you're insinuating. Why would I ding-dong ditch you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe for the thrill. What do you think, Donnie?
Oh, I would have to think so.
And I'm thinking that maybe you used to live quite the luxurious Hollywood lifestyle.
I'm thinking champagne for breakfast.
I'm thinking lobster for lunch.
I'm kind of thinking breakfast for dinner.
I'm thinking that now you live in a sleepy courtyard and maybe you're looking for the thrill.
I think being a mother of 3 is thrilling enough. How about you, Cory? How do you get your thrills? Seems like you haven't had much of a thrill since you stopped binge-watching Lost.
Whoa, easy, McDowell.
Why would I rile up the whole courtyard? I don't even pay rent here. I just crash on this couch. My living situation is very precarious. Why would I risk that?
Maybe you're trying to fill a void.
Oh my God.
I love that clip.
That's hilarious.
That was a really fun scene to film and really surreal. It's like one of the first things we filmed, I think.
Was it surreal just having Andy walk in?
Yeah, I mean, she also like has a movie star quality about her that is really palpable. So even just sitting across from her is kind of intimidating. I know. Do the next video. The next one is this is a Ryan. We made this video as like a promo for the show before it came out.
Hey, sport. What are you doing home? I thought you were going to go see that new Ryan Gosling movie with Frankie.
Cory, if I tell you something, you promise not to tell nobody?
No. Sport, what's going on?
I don't get Ryan Gosling.
Of course you get Ryan Gosling.
No, I don't. Not the way I get Ed Harris or Brad Pitt. I think there's something really wrong with me.
Have you seen Drive?
Yeah,
What about Lars and the Real Girl?
I saw it.
Blue Valentine?
I saw it.
Did you see La La Land?
3 times. I'm doing the work, Cory. I even saw The Notebook.
I mean, just look at him. I mean, I see 3 or 4 things to get right there.
Look, I get that he's a dime piece, but it just seems like somebody I could have known in high school. I bet he wasn't even prom king.
Now you watch it. Just because you don't get Ryan Gosling doesn't mean you get to say that he wasn't prom king. Because he most certainly was. And if he wasn't, it was probably because there was some charming, chubby, funny kid who ran a wonderful campaign, and I'll bet you he voted for him.
Just face it. I ain't never gonna get the goose.
Wait, don't you look at me. You do get Bradley Cooper, don't you?
Yeah, I get the coupe.
I don't get Kathy Bates.
Come on.
I should cut out the last line where I go, you know, I don't get Kathy Bates. It's sort of true. I don't really get it.
Do you guys collaborate? Do you guys all like collaborate on the writing, or like?
Yeah, Donnie and I, the two of us there, and then Rob, who directs it.
That's great.
Oh my
all
God,
write it
that's
together and then film it.
hilarious. And can't people subscribe to your? I subscribed.
Oh wait, hold on. We got to kick it to this new video. I think this is a trailer. I think for another episode of the show.
Oh wait, are we doing New Look Day? But before we do New Look Day, we should.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, before we do New Look Day.
So this
back
episode
of the house.
This is a trailer, I think, for an episode of the show that we did. And in the episode, we have an event called New Look Day, where we have a party where you audition a new look that you're not sure if you could pull off in public. It's a safe space, and so you kind of like wearing something like this, you get to just, I don't know, and then we all vote on whether people liked it or not. But in the episode, my character is, unbeknownst to my friends, trying to look like my dad. So I use a photo of my actual dad with a cowboy hat, and I shave a mustache, and to try to look like him.
It looks just like him. I
don't pull off the look, not to blow it, but.
Oh, hey, Christian.
Hey, Cory.
Hey, if you're free later, you should stop by. We're having a potluck for New Look Day.
What's New Look Day?
Well, once a year, me and the guys get together and we sort of create a safe space where we can try out a new look. Something outside of our normal style that we're not really sure we can pull off. It's a New Look Day?
New Look Day.
I have this new look necklace.
I tried the straight hair.
I tried the mustache and the cowboy hat.
I tried wearing the earring.
I just tried the name Eric.
I think we've had enough time to mingle, so why don't we all grab a chair and we can start voting. And if you want any food, grab it now, because I'm going to throw all this shit away.
You didn't pull it off.
Really?
You already sparkle. And it is permanent, but don't let that sway your vote.
I didn't try a new look. I tried a new word. I've been saying slapping.
Frank, is this a new look or a new identity?
I don't know.
Ask me what I think of that tapestry.
What do you think of that tapestry?
What's slapping?
You pulled it off. Congratulations, Eric.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. Yeah.
And
Bria.
please turn.
The chin ain't that thick,
Oh
though.
my God, that's funny.
And it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Have a New Look Day. Yeah, some people that watched the show had a New Look Day party and sent us footage of it. It's really funny.
That's great.
It's a great idea. Try a new look out, see what go. You know, we did it right here. Just see what we think. Mingle for an hour, get used to it, take it in. Don't talk about it. Just let it sit.
New Look Day parties.
New Look Day party. Yeah, and then
stuff,
vote and be like, I don't think you pulled that off, or I think you did. Yeah.
I think we could get some wine industry people to try out New Look Day.
I love it.
I think it's
Purple teeth. How does that look?
Yeah.
purple teeth, exactly, or white teeth. That's a new look.
Oh yeah.
Wow, it's so clever. I remember you being up actually and doing some stuff at your dad's house, especially when you're out on.
Oh yeah. What was that? I mean, we used to film a ton of stuff, and Dad. It was funny because I remember one time I showed him a video we had made, and he watched it, and I just expected him to be like, "Yeah, that's a good job, son." He was like, "Oh shit! See, you said beer. I would have said six pack right there." Oh shoot! See, I would have said. After a while, I just turned it off. I said, "It's already done. We can't change anything. So just like it or don't." Shit.
Send it back to the wine.
Yeah.
You like it or don't.
It's like we were competitive in a certain way for a long time, and then I remember he came to one stand-up show, like at the San Jose Improv, or kind of a bigger show, and then he went so proud mode from then on, and he came back in the green room after the show, and I'm with all the comics, and he goes, "Dude, you are the fucking shit. That was the shit. The other guys sucked. You were the shit. And I'm sitting with the other comics. I'm like, Dad, thank you. That's
But
my
they're
dad."
like standing right there listening to him say
Yeah.
that. They're all terrible.
Yeah.
You're the best.
You're the best. And then we gave one of them a ride home. And on the ride home, it's like he forgot he was in the car. He's like, yeah, I couldn't understand a thing that guy said. That guy,
He's in the back seat.
Jesus, Dad. Yeah, this guy was like way higher than me on the scale. I just started stand up. I'm like,
That is so Mike.
yeah, I did that multiple times. Healdsburg show, same thing. Dude, the shit. Best one. The other guys fucking sucked. It's like, these are also my friends. It's like, I don't need to feel better than them, you know?
So
Very
funny.
supportive, very supportive.
Well, he was so excited about you.
Totally. No, I mean,
I remember, we used to meet in the lab every day. You go, come here, I've got to tell you something. We sat down, he said, I think Cory's actually going to, get hired. I think he's going to be more than a transplant tissue delivery guy.
Yeah.
He was really excited when you got your first things going on.
No, I mean, my whole family's been incredibly supportive because even like my grandpa, the wine professor, very academic. He got into wine through chemistry, not Dad was through the loving wine, but my grandpa, I think he started at Davis because white wine was oxidizing in the bottle and turning brown. And he had been working at Dole Pineapple to keep pineapples from turning brown in the can. So they brought him in to help figure out how to do that. So he ended up being a kind of founding person in the academic part of wine. But at any rate, they were always so supportive. And I look back and I think, it's pretty incredible given that I was making some R-rated, my stand-up is like sex and drugs and nothing that they could even relate to.
All
and
the usual stuff, right?
Usual stuff, I think. And only stuff worth talking about, really. But yeah, been very supportive, even though I don't think they connected with what I was doing. But yeah, always been lucky like that.
Okay, this is an example, and you've got your creativity from your dad here. Have you ever seen this, George?
No, I have not.
This is a project that Mike...
You on your phone, dude? Come on.
No, I'm checking the Facebook. I got to monitor the Facebook Live.
He's playing Words with Friends over there.
Yeah.
You're fascinating, right?
Are you watching my show on your phone? Nice, thank you.
Okay, so do you want to describe it? Okay, this was a huge project. He always wanted to
You guys did this together, right?
I was his sous chef.
Okay.
I just followed his orders.
Susie
I
chef.
found the box, the Susie chef, yes. I just ordered stuff for him.
Okay.
So he found the boxes. It's called Hulu.
Hula, right?
Yes, Hulah.
Yeah.
So, and you can see.
Can everybody at home guess what that stands for? Hung like a horse.
It's called Hung Like a Horse. He figured subliminally.
Is that
anybody
subliminal?
would want to. Yeah.
Just in case.
You know what's funny about this too is something about the what's the body you guys have to go through for approval on labels? They wouldn't let him do a real horse photo
TTB
because it was too graphic. So he had to do this cartoon Raggedy Ann horse, which is like funnier when you think about how graphic the intention is.
Well, so he got that by the feds, and let's see. Let's open up this beautiful packaging, and nestled in this beautiful, colorful ribbon. Here, why don't you show it to everybody, Cory? Because if we get enough interest from our viewers, this is something that can be continued. So this is the package, and it is a fabulous port.
Yes. I mean, look, let's get to it. This is really good. It's a really good port.
This is really good.
It's a funny concept because it's crass as hell. The back says, after the hula is gone, there's no more to teach. Spread the petals of the blossom, and to the bottom you will reach. Sir Jonathan Holmes, the porn star. So basically, this will make your dick. It'll make your dick
Sir
bigger.
Jonathan
Is the idea. Which I can attest to. It does not work. But the port it's really good.
Well,
it's also funny because
it's beautiful packaging.
it's beautiful. In fact, after I have a bottle, I'm like, what do I do with this box? It's like a beautiful. What do you do with this? I don't know.
I know, and it's so respectful to Sir Jonathan.
Yes, and it's funny because The last wine I've had of his is like 5 of these bottles or something. So I've had a bunch of like, all right, guys, I'm gonna pour some of the last wine I have from my father. This means a lot to me. And then it's like, yeah, it's this. It'll make your dick bigger, and it's a horse and a lasso, so and a noose. And I don't have any of the handprint bottles. I don't have any of the other old-fashioned ones. Just this one. But it is really good.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure the feedback from everyone will be to keep the brand going.
Also, I love that he made it because it's badass.
That's
Okay.
so cool.
So let's.
I've first time I've seen this, but like that's just straight up
Okay.
like right.
I'm passing
You know,
it.
I was
No,
watching somebody like
I'm
give me a
all-
little wax opening lesson.
Okay, I've already started doing. I did a bad job from.
I don't know. I saw somebody with the wax. They said warm it up a little bit like this in your hand until it softens up a little bit, and then it'll pop. It's supposed to pop right out. So
Really?
yeah, I'm gonna get.
There's a joke there.
I know they're really.
I know. Look at this. I know. I'm teeing it up here, Cory. Like I don't know what else I can do.
What a bad
What else
comedian.
can I possibly do?
Such a bad comedian that I was just like, wow, what cool technique. That's really interesting. I was thinking this is the most interesting part of the whole interview. Like, yeah, I checked out.
How to warm up the
Yeah.
the Hulu.
In my experience, that technique doesn't make it pop. Is that something? Or? Yeah.
But anyway, this is right up.
George, I'm glad you were the one doing it, not me.
That's what I'm here for.
Good penetration,
See?
George.
Look, it popped it right off. Good penetration. So now everybody's a comedian. See? Everybody's a comedian.
It's
Now,
contagious.
Cory. Okay.
Good job. Oh, how fun. Well, now we get to. Oh, are you already finished?
Yeah, what do you mean? I'm always finished.
I do remember when he came out with this bottle, he was so stoked on.
Oh,
He was just like, taste this shit. This is the best fucking shit. Taste this shit.
well,
You sit with your buddies, you know, play around a golf, you sit out back, have a cigar, you drink this. This is going to be the shit.
well, we traveled a long distance to get the finest
Did you pour that out?
brandy. That was Selby.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. That's funny. You would laugh at that too.
I'm so
But
broke.
no,
I'm
we
like,
went
get
to-
it.
Your mouth underneath
Yeah,
there.
get that bucket under there. Jesus. I could sell it out front.
No, we traveled to help me, the distillery.
Up in,
Germaine Robin.
Thank you. Yes, we went to Germaine Robin. We tasted through. You know, they kept saying you don't need to spend that much, and he was like, no, it needs to be the best. And so we actually tasted through brandy. We've got a famous winemaker on this set here, Guy Davis. He's going to be with us next week. So yeah,
All
your
right,
dad
well,
and I.
that's next week. Next, start with me. All right. Next week we have our.
Oh, yeah.
That guy has accomplished a lot.
Were you saying something?
Yeah. Sounds great. Sounds great. I'll be watching.
Okay, now
But
let's.
how do you make port? Why is there brandy in this?
Oh well, you crush the grapes at very high bricks, and bring it in, and you have an extremely slow fermentation because you don't want the fermentation to take off. But you stop the fermentation with brandy,
Oh,
and that's how you make port.
great.
And then you press it out. So
Cheers.
cheers. You get to toast twice to Mike. Would those of you like to taste this? Maybe. We'll see how much Cory has. This is really good.
I just want you to know, too, I've been doing this whole interview. This isn't my best side. Pretty brave of me, if you think about it.
Well, this is delicious.
It's
And
really good.
It tastes like chocolate and tobacco.
That's beautiful.
And I'm serious, if you would like to keep this going, that is something we can do. It's your
Well, I would love to. I love it.
here. Let's give it a.
Chocolate and tobacco. I can get that.
Do you taste it? That's
I
the
can
other
get
thing
chocolate, yeah.
That's the other thing your dad would do. He'd say, "This tastes like," and then if you started to interject, "Oh, pomegranate," he'd go, "No, like you know," and you'd sit there and go, "No,
Yeah, yeah.
no, let me."
Was he good at identifying it?
As far as I knew.
Yeah. He told me once, he was like, if anybody asks you what it tastes like, remember the ABCs. What is it? It's something berries and cherries. Just say it sounds like cherry and blueberry, or just say something, I don't know what the A was for. Almond?
Maybe.
Nah, that doesn't sound right.
Let's just say it's almond.
It's a way to lie about it. I don't have a palate at all. I can never tell what anything tastes like.
That's because he didn't guide you.
No, he didn't. He did no work whatsoever to guide me in wine. Which, in a way, is kind of cool. It's like, same with music. I remember discovering classic rock and being like, you had this your whole life and you didn't show me one record. And he's like, figure you get to it when you get to it. And I guess wine the same way.
So what is your next project? Because I believe you are working on something exciting.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We wrote something for FX, the channel, and we just turned it in, so we'll see. You know, it's like they got to green light that, and if they do, then in 3 years you'll probably be able to see it on a TV near you. But I'm really excited about it. I hope they do. But then in the meantime, we make a lot of videos just on our own independently and put them on Instagram and YouTube. So if you in Cute House, that video we made, we're going to make a sequel to that. Yeah, I mean, I think everything's, if you go to thedressupgang.com, there's a YouTube channel with all our stuff. We try to put make a lot of stuff for it. Because again, if you wait in LA for them to let you make something, you could wait a long time. And we just got the rights back to our show, actually. Our lawyer just got us back the rights.
Really?
So we might make more because, it's the whole thing.
Well, I'm going to make sure that I post links to your things on the Selby website.
Oh, that'd be
because
great.
I know people would want to see it. And Cute House is great. And I think you can just go on.
If you just Google Cute House, is on there. Or
It's
in our
very
YouTube
good.
thing, we have it on there.
On your YouTube channel?
Yeah. The show itself, you have to watch on demand, or I think that's how you watch it. There's a lot of commercials. I'm sorry, it's not my fault.
Now, I really...
Seriously, email me. I'll just send you links to the show. Don't deal with the
No,
commercials.
send it to Selby at Selby Winery.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you get all the information you need.
I mean, really.
And I not trying to take it back to me, because I don't do that all the time, but I did contribute to his success in some small way.
That's right. Oh,
And
shit. We
I'm
should have
talking
brought that clip. I totally didn't even think about it.
Oh, you're talking about Andy McDowell?
Yes.
No, I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh, what were you talking about?
Oh, well, where he called, I forgot about that. I was thinking about my Courtyard. But Cory called me one day and said, hey, do you mind if we use your name in our show?
Yeah.
I was like, sure, what name? He goes, Susie Selby. He goes, it's sort of a stupid sounding name. Or
I didn't say
something
that. I didn't say stupid.
Okay, maybe you didn't say stupid. You just said,
It
it's
just
like...
sounds like a funny cartoon name. Like,
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Or something like...
like the girl. Like,
Much better.
Yeah.
Right.
Much better.
Funny
well, so
cartoon
in
name.
this episode, Donnie's going on this date with this girl, and he's really nervous about it. So he goes
Well,
to
it's with Andy.
He goes to Andy McDowell for advice on how
Oh.
to dance, and she's like, she goes, "Oh, is this Susie Selby, the girl with the thick thighs? I know how much you love that girl." And is that Susie Selby with the thick thighs? That's what it is.
Susie Selby
With
the thick thighs.
Yeah.
Is that great accent? Susie Selby with the thick thighs.
I know how you love that girl. Yeah.
So yes, I have that claim to fame, but no.
Yeah.
So
Actually, your name's on IMDb now because that girl who played you, her character name is Susie Selby on IMDb.
oh great. So
Yeah.
now Susie Selby, I'm below on the list when people go to my name.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm like not important anymore because because it's a cartoon name that went to the top.
Yeah.
Guys,
Big thighs.
that's a plus.
No, what I was talking about is I've sacrificed my home to the comedians.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, Susie has a guest cottage here, and we did a bunch of live stand-up shows here in town, and a couple of festivals called the Small Town Comedy Festival. The goal being for me to take all my favorite comedians from LA up here to perform and kind of share wine country with them, and then also share my favorite comedians with my friends here. But there's never a place to stay, so Susie's been very kind in letting the cottage become that.
It's not just that. I'm talking about the crazy Courtyard parties.
Oh, well, that was another one. Yeah. Well, after my dad passed, we had this service out here, and a bunch of my bunch of comedians came up from LA to support, and then afterwards we came back here to have a little like memorial hang, and it became a absolute rager.
It's crazy.
Kind of the hardest I think I've ever partied. Maybe in a nice cathartic way, but the Courtyard the next morning was unrecognizable.
It was crazy. Every space was covered with something.
Somebody passed out, or
a human,
bottle person.
a beer bottle, something.
Yeah.
Like corner to corner.
It felt like one of those like Irish funerals in a movie or something where everyone just like gets after it. I appreciate that. I thank you for that. Except Kevin from our show is just inside with your cats all night, just giving them love.
That's true. That's true. No, it's been fun, and the entire, the whole wine community misses your dad, and we're all really proud of what you've done, to say the least.
You spoke to everybody in the wine community?
Yes.
Nice.
I can.
She's very connected. She's very connected to her.
I do. Yeah. I can safely say on behalf of the entire wine community, we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, you've done so much, and I really do think that your creativity and your passion is an extension of your dad's, and the desire to create things, and at some level he loved making people happy. He loved it when they loved his wines.
Well, in those events that you were talking about, the whole point is to bring people together and have a good time.
He was always a lot of fun, man, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
it was all good stuff.
I remember those passport weekends at Meeker were just a blast. It was just a party. That's what the goal with doing the festival was. And I love this town. I love being from here, and it's such a good, it's really always such a kind of privilege to be able to bring friends from outside of town here and entertain them. And that's been a kind of integral part of my whole LA experience, has been the back and forth and kind of going back and forth between being invested there and then bringing people up here and mixing the two worlds and filming a lot of stuff up here. You film in LA, there's planes always, you have to have a permit for everything, but here it's easy to film, so we do a lot of stuff up here. And
yeah, this is unpermitted filming right now.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, you want to use the restaurant? Yeah, come in. You want to use the winery? Film in there. In LA, it's like you need a permit to film in your driveway,
But it's funny because you're in the middle of two very mysterious worlds. We all wonder what it's like to be in Hollywood and be part of that whole scene, and other people wonder what it's like to be in the wine industry and wine country. You're in the middle of, you're part of two sort of mystical things.
I can see that. I wonder if they're probably pretty similar in a way. Or I wonder. Like when you need to, are we wrapping up, or can I ask a question?
Oh no, we're fine.
If we,
they were on a time crunch here.
Yeah.
He's union. It's up to Rob.
Yeah. Well, it always seems to me like there would be. I feel like a lot of LA is like the networking is just important insofar as like, I don't know, just the way creativity works and the way things come together. If you run into someone at a party, then maybe you guys have a conversation that sparks an idea. And I thought it'd be kind of shallow when I moved, and I'm sure there is that part of it, but my experience has been more like just kind of a fun, creative group of people that kind of bounce off each other, and the networking is actually more like just being interested in other people and working with them. And with here, do you find that, like, if you want to, like, where you source your grapes from and who manages those grapes, and the way I hear you talk a lot of times is it's sort of like either friends or I met this person and we got to talking, or helping your friend make wine because he's growing grapes, and it feels like kind of collaborative and a little bit,
I would say so,
networky, or a little.
Yeah, it is.
Well, small, right? So it's like when you were talking about when Susie said, "How'd you get into McDonald's?" Like, well, I knew a guy who knew a guy. You know what I mean? It's like small, same. That reminded me of the wine business.
Just sort of by being around, you meet people, and
I do know that I have consumed a lot of Budweiser to get vineyard contracts. That's a sacrifice, and I have. We used to always meet at the general store.
Yeah.
Drink a Budweiser. So I'm sure you make sacrifices in Hollywood occasionally.
I drink a lot of Budweiser, smoke a lot of Budweiser. Yeah. I mean, because those connections are why you end up making the business choices you make in my world. Or like all the people on our show are just friends and collaborators. And I imagine here it's sort of similar. You wouldn't want to buy grapes from somebody you don't trust or don't like or want to work with for the next calendar year, I'd imagine. Or maybe you do, I don't know.
It's been known to happen.
If the grapes are good enough.
Yes, sometimes. But no, we're all friends. It's all just one big happy family, just like Hollywood.
Just like Hollywood, yeah. Yeah. And also I have a weird version of it because the stand-up comedy scene is very wonderful, and everybody's, to do stand-up is to be vulnerable in front of people you care about on stage and to share your deepest, darkest thoughts. And so you can't not feel the camaraderie there. I have gone to a lot of parties with just straight actors and that whole scene, and that does feel a little...
Is it different, like a party with actors versus party with a bunch of comedians?
Well, in a way I feel bad for actors because stand-up, you can do your art form anytime you want. You go find an open mic, you book a show, you get to choose when you do it. If you're an actor, you have to audition and hope that somebody lets you do your art, which is a pretty vulnerable thing to do. You can take acting classes and you can find ways to do it, but imagine you're the best actor in the world and you haven't been discovered yet. You don't even have an outlet for the thing you love to do. But yeah, the flip side is like, for every really artistic, brilliant actor, I think there's 9 out of 10 are just kind of super attractive people that just thought, I could probably make it in Hollywood, let's go check it out.
And then they do.
Yeah, it's like every hot person from high school and around the country moves to LA and tries to get a job in commercials or movies, and I don't know. But that's a whole different scene than I'm exposed to for the most part.
What do you think the sort of the mentality of a comedian is? Because like someone like Robin Williams, who's very quiet when he's private and very different when he's acting. But I just think that people who are comedians just have a different sort of mindset.
Yeah, I think a lot of the tropes are true in terms of like a lot of the comedians I know are wounded people that find a lot of catharsis, and like the reason they search for comedy day to day is they need to be happy. For me, I feel like I don't really identify with that as much. I just think it's fun to...
You're an intellectual comedian. You are. You intellectually come up with your jokes and your scenarios and...
Yeah, I feel like I like to... It kills me when a group of people are joking about something and laughing, and the idea that funny idea just disappears kills me. So I feel like a lot of my stand-up is just writing down the things that a lot of people might think of but don't take the time to write down and keep. When it comes to video stuff, I don't know. Yeah, the other thing about stand-up comedy is you're a lone wolf on stage, and I say that in comparison to like improv or sketch comedy, where you have a group with you on stage. When I see improv groups performing, and then I see the stand-ups come in for the show after, it's like a bunch of improv comedians like, great show and great job, and let's do some warm-up activities. Yeah, super supportive and like really just nice, fun people, and then comedians all come in like, all right, fuck, I got to go over my set, don't talk to me, and can be kind of a little more of an introverted group overall, maybe.
Is competitive too? I mean, is there like a level of competitiveness when, because it's like you're stacked up, right? So it's like you go on stage and somebody right behind you and someone right behind that.
Yeah, I think competitive, but maybe it's probably the same in sports where like it's also kind of undeniable who won. Right. So you can have an ego about it or get competitive, but at the same time, like, you know
who killed it.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone, I feel like the hierarchy is very clear to everybody in the scene. And also, maybe it's too inside baseball, but the LA scene is kind of like, there's the alt comedy scene, which is on the east side of town, and the comedy tends to be a little more like emotive or outside the box. And then the Hollywood side is the club scene where you have the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, those spots. And those are more like, okay, I'm a comedian, 2-drink minimum for the crowd. Like, we are here to do this. And it's more of that side tends to be more competitive and more...
So it's like the mimes versus the clowns or something.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost like the nerds versus the jocks. Like if you go to a Comedy Store show, like all the head comedians like park their Porsche crooked in the parking lot, and go inside with their leather jacket, and you kind of find yourself reverting back to high school feelings of like, oh, this guy's cool, we should laugh at his jokes. Like, this guy's really handsome. Like, and on the east side, it's like, you're doing a show in the back of a comic book store, and it's like Genius Comedians, but more weird kind of stuff. I don't know. I kind of straddle both, I guess, but that's the difference I do note.
So you're in the back, like in the back of a seedy place doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of converted venues, you know.
We've in the wine industry, we do that in New Jersey liquor stores. Seriously.
Paper
You mean,
cups.
like you have tastings
no,
there?
yes, you drag your bag to the back of this store, and they hand you this pile of little tiny Jell-O shot cups.
Yep.
And it's sort of, you can't decide if it's
It goes
cool
like this.
or humiliating.
How much? How much?
That's a good way to put it. It's like when these shows
cool?
happen
Is it
and
humiliating?
they're really funny, you're like, this is the coolest event I've been to. It's in a weird looking, and when they suck, you're just like, what the hell are we doing with our lives? Like in the back of a laundromat trying to do my jokes. It's like, what am I doing here?
I'm like that, like, you know, I've worked so hard to become a winemaker, and I have not consumed anything out of glass for 2 days.
Right.
You know, just in these little liquor stores.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have our back seedy
Filthy. They're
experience.
filthy.
They're filthy.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least they come out of their own sleeve.
Yeah, that
it's
part's
worse
good.
when they, you know, pre-COVID, they just grab something off the shelf and hand it to you.
Hand you a glass.
A
or something,
glass.
or-
You don't know where it's been, who's been drinking from it.
And what are you doing in these places? You trying to sell wine?
Peddling wine.
Peddling wine.
Peddling
Slanging wine, yeah.
Slinging wine.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just saying, I feel your pain. Or
Is
we
it?
feel your pain.
What if you set up in an alley? Do you think you could sell wine that way? That could be kind of a cool move.
to set up in an alley?
Set up in an alley like you would sell drugs, you know?
Why don't you know?
Just a makeshift little table in an alley somewhere.
Like a lemonade stand, but
A lemonade stand,
I
and
love it.
like a hey. Just want some cab or what? Like, get
just
a-
wait for people to go by.
Yeah, wait for people to go by.
Everyone welcome.
Yeah. Like I know the guy. You don't have to pay corkage fee at the restaurant. Like, come on, work out a deal.
You know, we could try it. We could try it out on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
a
down.
sidewalk wine cell.
I'm down.
I think it's legal now. You know, I went to.
Are we boring you?
Yeah, you've got.
Oh, drink it.
We wanted to know who your favorite comedian was.
Oh,
Oh, you have to send it to
Did you
our
get some?
Facebook.
You good? Pass it around.
He's not doing his job.
for those at home, there's 75 people here hanging
Oh,
out.
here it is. Who's your favorite comic?
Oh. Well, I think Bill Burr. Guess what? Bill Burr is one of the best comedians I've ever seen. If you can see him live, the difference, comedy, maybe it's. I'm sure live music is like this too. The difference between comedian live versus their specials is massive. It's like seeing someone solo or play like the best. I don't know. It's like I've seen so many comedians where they are gods in person, and then you see them, their specials, and they're good and they're funny, but it kind of neuters a big part of it. So when I say these, I'm not saying necessarily that I think their specials are the best, but when I saw Bill Burr for the first time, I had been doing stand-up for 2 or 3 years, and I thought, I didn't even know you could do that. Like, I was keeled over laughing for 2 hours, couldn't even move, and I was on a first date, so I was like, trying to be cool, you know, and I just couldn't contain myself. I was just losing my shit. Patrice O'Neill, he died a couple years ago. His special Elephant in the Room really is hilarious.
He is hilarious. He is hilarious.
That guy, like, as far as just the fabric of your body being funny, everything you say being funny. That guy, I saw him before I even knew who he was, saw him do a set. Did 2 hours, he didn't move from a stool. And I was crying, laughing the entire time. Just truly crazy. Rory Scovel, I think, is one of the best comedians I've ever seen, especially in person.
And he's a really good friend of yours.
He's a good friend, and he's done some shows in Hillsborough here too. He has a special that he filmed. I don't know if it's out yet. I don't think so, but he did a bunch of sets where he did an hour of stand-up improvised, 7 nights in a row, and filmed them all. And I watched the special they cut from it, and it's one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen. Just to walk out on stage, doing stand-up is scary enough. To have zero material that you're going to work with, no one else with you, and just go, I'm going to just be
Does he
hilarious.
just do like free thought comedy.
Talking to people, free thought. It's like really next level. And I'm sure his specials and stuff online is great, so check him out. Those are my favorite. I mean, Dave Chappelle is, I think, probably the best
Hilarious.
ever also, but I think everyone already knows that. But Patrice is one a lot of people don't know about. I really recommend him. And then as far as, I would say like Kevin Kamiya is in our show. He has a special out, or a comedy album that I think is really, really funny. Shang Wang is a comedian that performed here also that has an album that is really fucking funny. One of the few albums I've listened to where I'm laughing while I'm walking down the street. And then and Norm Macdonald maybe also is. His last special or album I thought was just hilarious.
Have you met these people and are you starstruck at all by successful comedians? Or are you just part of the?
I don't know. It's like I'm not starstruck by people, but I can be struck by their like talent. Like at the Comedy Store, if you hang out in the back, you'll run into everybody. But as a person, I haven't met Patrice or Bill Burr or these guys, but I don't know, like you meet a lot of comedians that you look up to, and then backstage you'll find that they're like kind of weird. They're just like neurotic, weird people, and it's like, all right, like I don't need to hang out, but what they do on stage is just incredible. Those I think are the best live experiences I've had, the ones I mentioned. Yeah.
Are you going to bring the comedy festival back to our fabulous town?
I'd like to. I was going to do it last year. Or thank God I didn't. But I was going to try to do one this last summer. But it was a lot. I would love to do it. It's a lot of work, and we lost money doing it just because it was too expensive to do. So, the city of Hillsburg does grants for tourist stuff. So, there's a world where I'd love to get it going again. But also the place we did it, Sonoma Cider, they changed hands, and I need to find a new place. And I liked back in the day when we did them, they were kind of an underground feel.
Well,
like
George is the guy to talk to. He can help
I know
you
a
find.
guy. I got a guy. I know a couple guys.
Let's do it. I mean, I'll tell you that it's not hard to get comedians to want to come here.
Really?
So if we can get a place to do it once this is all over. Actually, you can even do it once it's happening.
Oh, yes. Davis.
Where are you at?
Davis.
Right on the Russian River.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Indoor, outdoor.
Easy. I mean, it's not hard to get
I'll
a...
start promoting it next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we got a big mailing list built up from these festivals, so we can let people know.
Repeat what? Oh. Guy just volunteered his place on the Russian River. Indoor, outdoor, which would be perfect.
Great.
It is. It's a great space.
Thank you, Guy.
And like I'll also say this, that I know a lot of people don't watch live comedy very often. Or I've found that a lot of people at these shows will be like, yeah, I've never watched it live. It's really a really special experience if you go to a great show. And it really is so different than watching a special online. I just can't say that enough. It's just so much a better experience to go do. So if you've never been to a comedy show, don't go to a bad one. But if you can find a good one, go check it out. Yeah, but hey, laundromat shows can be good too. In fact, Ali Wong, this comedian who's kind of blown up now, she started with us in SF, and I remember seeing her in the back of a laundromat and being like, damn, this girl's really funny. Cuts a couple years later, now she's one of the biggest comedians out there. So you can catch, what's cool about comedy is it's not like riding a bike where you have to do it every night to keep getting better. And so like if you go to a show in LA on a Monday, you'll find Chris Rock will pop into your show to work on new jokes, or like it's not like being a rock star where you only perform for arenas. So just expose yourself, get out to some live shows, you'll see some good stuff.
Well, since I'm the spokesperson for the entire wine industry
now,
how can we help you? Like, can we promote your comedy?
Oh.
Can we I send you wine, but
yeah, you can keep sending me wine. That really does help.
But we would love to have all of you here. Of course.
I would love that. I mean, once the stuff I would just say, like, personally, all of the stuff that we've done is on YouTube or on our Instagram account. If you like it, just share it with friends. If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Don't say anything to anybody.
Just drink another bottle of wine.
Just drink another bottle of wine and just move about your business. You don't have to talk shit about it. You don't have to say anything bad. Just kind of let it be. But if you like it, share. I mean, the word of mouth thing is really all we've ever had, and it's really helped, and especially for if we do more local shows, for sure.
Well, and your friends really love wine.
Yeah, they do.
They're discerning.
Well, also,
they really are.
well, also, it's like no one's casually buying a $20, $30 bottle of wine that I know. So to be gifted a case of wine, you're like, oh, wow, feels like pretty incredible. Hillsburg's awesome. People bring bottles of wine around like tomatoes from your garden. You'd be like, oh, I bought this $50 bottle of Cab. They just gave it to me. You guys want to drink it? You're like, yeah. Let's go.
Like on the streets of Healdsburg?
Every house party I go to, I have friends that anybody who works at a winery just comes over with the best. You brought some that you want her to share. Everybody brings wine around that they just bring it around. But this is a really hot commodity. No one's bringing wine casually to a party I'm at and splashing the extra on the ground like you are.
Yeah, welcome to Healdsburg.
Yeah, it's a great commodity to be a part of. I don't know if people in Nebraska do that with corn or if it works in other. Ooh, I got some new sweet corn. You're like, oh shit, throw it in the.
That's funny. Well, Cory, this has been delightful, and I'm going to post your links, if I'm saying sorry, links to your Dressed Up Gang and your shows on the Selby website.
Yeah.
And we're all of us are very excited about your success and looking forward to what happens in the future.
Thank you. And I will say, as far as the help part, we are not successful. So the network thing that we did, and we sold the show, and it's a hell path. We need your help. If you enjoy our videos, again, if you don't, it doesn't matter. But if you do like them, share them with your friends, because that is how we can keep doing this stuff. Either add revenue from YouTube, or I don't know how we'll make money on it. But yeah, that really does help, because I would rather not have to sell a show again and make no money, and then that's a really close camera shot. How do you do this? We have a screen that shows what we look like the whole time. It's really hard not to look at that while we're talking.
I don't have a problem staring at myself when I say
You enjoy it.
Cory's locked in.
Yeah, it helps you. But anyway, we're trying to do things independently. It really does help us if people share our stuff. Also, for the local comedy stuff, that if we do shows and you live in the area, please, even if you can't go, share the information or help pass it around, because that's the only way things can happen.
That's right.
For me.
And support
these. And I love you. I love you so much. I love every person watching this so much. Call me,
And support these poor comedians. They can send you wine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, if you want to support, hey, do you have a lot of money? I know a lot of really funny comedians that are broke as fuck that would love to keep being funny. If you got a lot of money and you're about to buy some stupid thing, don't. Let me put you in touch with a really talented artist who would love to make something, and they can call the show your name, or put your, somehow make it worth your while. But don't buy the third Porsche. You don't need it. Buy season 2 of the Dress Up Gang. We'll really pour our heart into it. Just give, if you have a lot of money, just, let me know.
Well,
but if you don't, that's okay too.
You're here to help.
We love you anyway.
I'm here to help. I would love to help you spend your money, and I have a season 2 of a show that I'd love to make. So
you have
let me
friends
know.
who would help you.
Yes,
spend it
I got a lot of friends who would be able to buy dinner and keep writing jokes.
Perfect. Well, Cory, one last toast to your wonderful dad, who we all miss so much. And
cheers.
Here, cheers. And thank you for being here. And we will have you back and see what your next venture is.
Oh, will you? Because I already have a great guest next week. So.
And speaking of next week, we look forward to having Guy Davis join us. And so until next week in the Courtyard.
Is he even from Davis?
Enjoy wine, enjoy life, watch the Dress Up Gang. Enjoy that too.